how curious it is to observe the way society sees sexuality in old age. Many see us through stereotypes, almost as if, as we age, our desires and pleasures have to be kept in a drawer. But I tell you, sexuality is part of each one of us, from the beginning to the end of life. And it is a shame to see so many elderly people repressing what they feel, or even putting their own health at risk simply due to lack of information and understanding. When we talk about sexuality, we are going far beyond the sexual act itself. It is a dance of different elements. Sex, yes, but also gender identity, pleasure, sexual orientation, intimacy, reproduction. Each of these aspects is unique to each individual, like a fingerprint. Each one feels, thinks, and desires in a way that is only theirs. And that is beautiful. Unfortunately, what I see out there is so many trying to reduce sexuality to a single dimension, emphasizing the sexual act while forgetting what is often the heart of everything: affection. Affection, caresses, small gestures that share intimacy. This is also sexuality, my dear, and there is no age for that. When we talk about old age, we need to make room to understand the profound impact that sexuality has on our quality of life. For many, intimate life still brings that sparkle in the eyes, that warmth in the heart, and even a sense of vitality that makes us feel alive. And this is not something we should feel ashamed to experience, but something that deserves to be celebrated and respected. At our age, sexuality becomes much more than physical attraction. There is a deep desire for connection, to share what we have accumulated over the years, experiences and feelings. And these connections become more meaningful, more intense. They are not just physical encounters. They are encounters of stories, dreams, joys, and even our scars. However, women who choose to actively participate in oral intimacy with their partners, i.e., women who suck their husband's penis, are choosing an intimate and personal experience that goes beyond physical pleasure, reflecting a desire to explore the deeper aspects of the sexual relationship. And this does not make them better or worse than others. Just someone who has chosen to experience an unusual feeling in their relationship. But do you know what's sad? I still see many elderly people living as if they have to forget these feelings or hide them, as if they were a forbidden secret. This wrong view ends up leaving many of us vulnerable, whether due to loneliness, fear of opening up to new relationships, or even the risks involved in the lack of information about sexual health. And this, my dear, is a shame, because living sexuality fully, with all the care and respect, can be a source of well-being and even longevity. Furthermore, understanding and accepting our sexuality also means accepting that affection is not limited to physical caresses. There are moments of intimacy that are found in a look, in a long hug, in a conversation that seems to have no end. These little things are as valuable as the most intense moments, and that, believe me, has no age. I understand that some of you may feel insecure, even unable to relive or experience these feelings. Perhaps you think that advanced age, body changes, or even what society expects of us can mean the end of these emotions. But let me tell you a secret. The human heart is made to feel, regardless of age. And it's this ability to feel that keeps us truly alive. Many may think that time has taken away from us that ability to fall in love, to desire, to allow ourselves to live new experiences. But let me say that this is just an idea that has been imposed on us, an idea that we can challenge and change. Life can be sweet, invigorating, even in old age, and we have the right to live it that way. Allow yourself to feel, even if at first it seems like uncharted or scary territory. Because you see, age only adds more stories and depth to our love, to our affection. If you feel that the body no longer responds as before, know that this is natural, but it is not the end. There are so many forms of affection and love that do not depend only on physical vigor. It is possible to rediscover the pleasure in touching, in looking, in sharing simple moments. Often, the tenderness of a hug or the intimacy of a heartfelt conversation can touch the heart more deeply than anything else. The trajectory is about self-knowledge, patience, and above all, permission. Give yourself permission to explore these feelings, to find joy and warmth in moments of affection. What matters is that these feelings exist, pulsating within you, ready to blossom if you let them. The nature of our body also brings us challenges and changes, and this is something we need to understand in order to live fully. In men and women, old age brings different physiological changes, and understanding this helps us to have a more compassionate and healthy relationship with our bodies and with those of our partners. For us women, the body speaks in other ways over time. One of the most striking changes is the decrease in the hormone estrogen, which is so linked to reproduction. With this, menopause arrives, and with it, some hot flashes and a decrease in vaginal lubrication. They are adaptations of the body, like a new rhythm that we need to learn to dance. And I can say that, with the right care and a little patience, it is possible to continue enjoying intimacy even with these changes. I remember that affection and partnership can work miracles, softening these challenges. For men, on the other hand, the scenario is also different. Testosterone, that hormone that has always been linked to strength and vitality, begins to decline. This can affect both reproductive capacity and the intensity of erections, something that often generates insecurities. With changes in muscles and bones, the body asks for new rhythms and a calmer, more careful approach. This is natural, and it does not mean that pleasure or love ends, but rather that they need to be lived in other ways, with new sensibilities and discoveries. And look, there is a difference in the way men and women see the sexual act at this stage. For many men, sex is still very much linked to the idea of power, to the strength of virility, and it is common for some to fear that they no longer live up to this image of machismo that society expects of them. Therefore, they end up looking for ways to reaffirm this position, for fear of being seen as less or not meeting expectations. For women, however, the meaning of intimacy can change in a subtle and charming way. Many of us have come to value even more the company, the affectionate touch, and the quiet presence. On the other hand, there are those who still want to live their sexuality but feel impeded, fearing being judged or labeled with inappropriate terms, as if they were a fiery old woman. And how many women end up abstaining from these feelings for fear of what others will say? I want you to understand, my dear, that sexuality at any age is worthy of respect and freedom. Our desires and our measures have no expiration date, and it is possible, yes, possible, to live these moments with the same intensity, although in a different way. It is important to understand that while these changes in the body and emotions exist, they do not have to be barriers to intimacy and pleasure. With a little adaptation and understanding, it is possible to circumvent these transformations and rediscover new ways of experiencing sexuality. For women, for example, decreasing vaginal lubrication can be a challenge, but there are solutions. Using a water-based lubricant, which is safe and easy to find, can make a huge difference, making the intimate moment more comfortable and pleasurable. In addition, looking for forms of stimulation that involve affection, massage, and subtle touches helps to arouse and maintain interest, favoring desire and emotional connection. In men, the drop in testosterone and changes in muscle strength may seem like an obstacle, but it's important to remember that pleasure isn't just about a single experience. There are other ways to enjoy intimate contact, and often they prove to be even richer and deeper. A slower pace and appreciation of the present moment bring an emotional connection that often goes unnoticed in youth. With this, what could once be a problem, such as erection, becomes secondary. It is an invitation to appreciate intimacy in a fuller and unhurried way. Now, as for the emotional aspect, it is essential that all of us, men and women, free ourselves from these labels that society imposes. We don't need to fit into an image of machismo or worry about stereotypes that see us as inadequate, because we still feel desires and wants. Pleasure, affection, and love are everyone's rights at any stage of life. Another thing that can be very beneficial is sincere communication. Talking openly with your partner about these changes, about each other's insecurities and needs, helps to break down barriers and create greater complicity. This conversation, when done with respect and affection, strengthens the bond and opens doors for the couple to explore new ways to satisfy each other. Together, there is no right or wrong, and this freedom is what makes the experience even more special. Believe me, my dears, communication is the foundation of intimacy, especially in old age. Over time, we have learned to recognize the value of talking truthfully and empathetically. It's like opening a window to another, allowing them to see what we really feel and desire. And believe me, this genuine exchange can transform any relationship. Many of us have been taught not to talk about our needs and desires, to keep to ourselves what we really feel about our bodies and sexuality. But if we want to live this phase of life to the fullest, we need to strip ourselves of these ties. Talking about the changes in the body, the desires that still pulse, the fears that may arise, all. In conclusion, Sexuality is a deeply personal, ever-evolving aspect of who we are. It transcends the physical act of sex and encompasses the emotional, mental, and spiritual connections that shape our experiences. As we age, our understanding and expression of sexuality may shift, but the core need for intimacy, affection, and connection remains. It is vital to celebrate and honor these moments, no matter our age, and to embrace the beauty of our sexuality in all its forms. As we continue to explore these themes of intimacy, affection, and the profound impact of sexuality on our lives, I encourage you to join me on this journey. If you enjoyed this content and want to explore more discussions on the complexity of human relationships, self-discovery, and love, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Your support means so much, and together, we can continue to create a space for understanding, connection, and the celebration of life's most intimate moments. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for being part of this incredible community.